It's spring gardening time, guys. And so in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at some beautiful flowers, fruits, veggies, trees. We're going to be taking a look at the ones that love part sun, love full sun, and just different ways you can make use of them so that you save a lot of money. My name is Marlene. If you've never been here before, welcome to my home and garden channel. These right here are some beautiful geraniums, absolutely gorgeous. And we're going to take a look at close-ups of them, the different prices that they're going for, and you can decide what's going to work best for you in your situation. So here's a close-up on these lovely geraniums. You can see them right here, how gorgeous they are. And these ones, you can see we have some bright red ones, we have pinks, they have whites, many different shades. These make perfect plants for window boxes, for container gardens. This could be like your spiller plant. You maybe just put one in the middle, and it's gonna, get taller and more beautiful over the summer. And it's gonna be so gorgeous in there for $5.98. I think that's definitely a good deal right there. They're not perennials, but they last you all spring and summer, even early fall. Over here now we have some Asiatic lilies, not to be confused with Easter lilies, which I've done a few videos on those. And these are perennials, so when you plant them and they dry down, just leave them and they'll come back the following year and they'll multiply, and there are multiple ones in the container, so a good buy there. Over here we have, these are flats, where you have like flats of either 12 or 18 different plants in there. These are dianthus, and they're perfect, and these are sun-loving ones too, so you can plant them now and they'll last you for many weeks to come. Over here we have some marigolds. These are a mainstay of your spring and summer and even fall garden. They keep away bad pests and diseases. They bring beneficial insects, and they're just so beautiful. So many things to love about this wonderful plant for $13.98. And over here for the same price, we have some snapdragons. They're absolutely gorgeous. These are cooler weather plants, and they tend to be more annual. Sometimes they can be perennials that maybe come back for 2 or 3 years. So bear that in mind and get some that are not fully bloomed, so they last for a longer time. You can get to enjoy them more. Petunias, on the other hand, they are sun-loving plants. They like the heat. So getting some of these flats right now for the same price, they're going to be serving you right throughout the spring, right through summer, perhaps into early fall. And they're great for container gardens. They're great for hanging baskets. They're great for flower beds. They're so versatile, and they just, bring wonderful pollinators to your garden like butterflies and birds. But they are heavy feeders though, so make sure you feed those plants with plant food. Over here we have some vinca, and these are a little bit more rough and tumble type of plants. They're very beautiful. They come in many different colors. They last you all summer, all spring, and they may even go into fall for you as well. And they grow to about 18 inches, so bear that in mind when you place them. Over here now we have some zinnias. If you don't get any other flower, you need to get some zinnias. Why? Because they're very versatile. They're tough-natured as well, and butterflies absolutely love them. So you want to pollinate your veggies and your fruits, get some of these in and you'll be good to go. This is a little bit of a showstopper here. This is celosia. And this blooms from spring into summer, sometimes into the fall as well. And it's a very good thriller plant for the center of a container garden. Just as is this canna plant right here. It's very beautiful. And this is a perennial in many areas. As you can see, they put it with some maidenhair grass down there, and it comes back year after year in most zones that are fairly moderate. Over here we have some beautiful knockout roses, and they're so gorgeous. You can see they already shaped them for you. So of course, because they did that, you're going to have to pay a little bit more for these. These are for $39.98. But bear in mind that when you plant roses, they like to be dry, they like warmth, and they need a lot of circulation of air around them. So you want to not pack them in too tightly with other plants. If your budget is a little bit less, you can get some of these over here for this size. And one of my fellow YouTubers, Clarissa, she loves yellow roses, so these would be right up your street. These are for $19.98. Absolutely gorgeous, and they smell very nice. So that's an option for your roses over there. Over here we have some lamb's ear, another good one to have in your spring garden, but it also lasts through the colder months as well and the warmer months, so it's very versatile. And I think that's probably why it costs so much. You're probably thinking they're just leaves. Why does it cost so much? They do bloom too, but they're mostly grown for the foliage because of the texture. It's just wonderful. I checked to see if there are multiple roots in here. I did not see that. But this plant has a mounding habit, so over time it's going to just fill out your area. They're great like for container gardens at the edges and for your mailboxes. This right here, this is Candy Tuft for $5.48, and this is a perennial, and it spreads a lot. When I say a lot, I mean a lot. So if you're not going to be able to deal with it spreading, this might not be the one for you, or just keep it in a container, but you would plant them like 12 inches apart to make sure that they are able to spread out. Now let's get on to our veggies. We have some parsley over here, and we have spearmint, and spearmint is so good also to keep, certain kind of pests away from your garden and certain types of insects. Your cicadas don't like them, so that might be a one to add in on there. You can see we have basil and some more of them down here. One thing with mint is that it spreads a lot, so you may want to keep that in a container if it may get out of control for you. I see that they did have some squashes, and these are all for the same price, $2.98. But for me personally, I think it's better to just direct sow your seeds if you can get them and just plant them, and it saves you money that way. They had some wonderful lavender over here, and lavender is so wonderful for your garden. It looks good. Use it in your food. You can make teas from it. It's just a great thing to have, multi-purpose. And we had some tomatoes over here, and I would say when you're going to get your tomatoes, make sure that your overnight temperatures are at least 55 degrees because they like warmer weather and you want to have strong plants coming up. I like big boy tomatoes and I like beefsteak tomatoes. I'm not a huge fan of cherry tomatoes, but they have different types that you could choose from there. And they also had some more of the basil right there as well. So over here, now this was a very good buy, I thought, for the raspberries right here, $10.98 for that size. You have a container there if you wanted to hold off a little bit before you planted them. And, these are perennials, of course, so they're going to come back every year, giving you wonderful fruits. And it's just great to have them. If you need to protect them from any insect, you can always put netting over them, as I talked about in the video. I'll link at the end regarding the cicadas that should be coming this year. But there are ways around it. So I'd say if you want to get one, go ahead. This is an excellent price to do so. And this is not a sponsored video, by the way. It just happens to be one of my stores that I like to stop by. So over here now, they had some hardy citrus. And this one here, you can see the price for $24.98. So check the zones on there. Typically, if they have it at your garden center, it means that it will be okay. Even though citrus is sun-loving, I would say put them in an area because they're really tropical plants. And these are bred to bear cold weather. Put them in an area where they're not like out in a blast of cold all the time. Maybe like to a little nook somewhere where they get a fair amount of sun each day. And over here, these are some larger size ones. Of course, you'll have to pay more for these. But you can see what you're getting there. They already have the oranges that are coming out to fruit. So very, very good to have that now and put it in your garden. And of course, it's good for so many things, for eating, for making, teas if you like that kind of a thing. Even the leaves are good to use too when you're cooking. Over here we have some figs, and figs are a little bit more cold hardy, so I'm never too concerned about getting these. $10.98. They last in so many different growing zones. Definitely a good buy there. It's going to feed you for years upon years, and of course it's going to get taller, so bear that in mind. Now here is a first for me. I had never seen an olive tree before, so this was the very first time that I saw one. You can see it's actually in bloom right there, so I was quite happy to see that. So something that I'll be considering if I should get one or not. And again, typically if they are showing in your area, you can see the price here, $46.98, which is a good investment, I would say, for an olive tree. That means that they typically can survive if they're in your garden center. And just to say, if you love gardening, I'd be so pleased if you'd hit the subscribe button and tap the notification bell twice so you never miss an upload. And let's journey along together. So over here now we have some ornamental trees. This is a Japanese maple, $114. But guys, I'm telling you, this is a wonderful plant. I see so many of them in my area, and they are absolutely gorgeous. They add interest whatever the season of the year. And you have different types. Some of them have more like a fringe leaf. Some of them, they have larger leaves. It just depends on the style that you want. And these plants are kind of minimalistic, though more like a kind of like a Japanese, kind of like an Asian type display. So not too many things should be in your flower bed if you're going to have these. Just a few things here and there. Maybe like some dianthus and a few other things. Maybe like, a rock garden or, a water feature. Just something more, calming and a little more laid back, but very, very beautiful. You can see they have a darker colored one over here if you prefer to get something of that shade. But it's just such a lovely plant. If I had more space in my garden, I would certainly get one. And if you're on a little more of a budget, you can always get the smaller sizes, $29.98. And of course, it's going to take more time, but eventually you'll get to where you want to be. And of course, for southern gardens, what could be more desirable than azaleas? $12.98. There are so many of them in bloom right now, and guys, they are so absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to have to do a future video about azaleas. They're so, so wonderful. And some of them smell really, really nice because I went in and I checked, and I'm telling you, some of them have such a sweet fragrance, and they're perennial shrubs. They come back year after year. You can take a look and see the vast supply. This is a super Home Depot, so it's a really large one, which I really love that. But they had so many things to look at. So I'm just showing you some of the choice ones that I saw. They had hibiscus over here, so if you want a more tropical type look, then these would be perfect for you. Of course, some of them are hardy, some are not. So read the labels and see what they say. We have mandevilla, the pink ones right there. And of course, we have some crotons. This is more like a tropical type section right here that we're feeling here. Smaller crotons you can get for $9.98. Mine, I keep it in a part shaded area, and I bring it in during the winter, and it actually seems to like inside more than outside for some reason. Now here's an interesting one right here. Isn't this gorgeous? It looks like little cattails or foxtails or something like that. Very, very cute. And my husband is there. He's not on camera today, but he was helping me to take a look at the price. This was for $1. And I'm sorry, $140 was what this one was for. And I think it's so worth it. It has a weeping habit if you like that. And again, not to crowd out your garden, display that minimally. Over here, these are called wallflowers. Another first for me. Again, I've never seen a wallflower before. You can see they have different colors there. And these are short-lived perennials, so they may come back maybe like for 2 or 3 years, and then you probably won't have them again. But still a pretty good investment, and they have a mounding habit, so they're going to spread out. So let's say you wanted to have that futuristic color of the lime green that we spoke about in my Gardening Trends of 2024 video a few weeks ago. This would be perfect as a nice hedging plant. You can see the wonderful color there. And just check out the size. This is maybe good like for a border, like walking up a pathway, a border on the edge there. It would be good for that. And of course, Boston fern, they always have these out there. Even though you may see them in a sunny area, fern tend to like part sun. And when it gets really hot in the summer, a little spritz of water on them helps to revive them. They're not heavy feeders, but maybe feeding them once, for the season will help them along their way. So these are so gorgeous. I love them. I'm going to go on inside now to the more covered area for the more part shade loving plants. And these over here, these are sun patients. They can handle sun, yes, but I think they prefer part sun more from what I can see. And part sun means between 6 to about 3 hours of sun per day. You can see they have different colors, and these are in the flats again. So you can just get a few, I'd say maybe like one flat, and you can spread it out. You see how they did it to show you in this pot right here. They have a cordyline plant in the center, which is so beautiful, and they just surrounded it with that. You're going to buy it already made with the creeping Jenny on there, as you see how much it's going for right there. If you want to save, you can always go and get a flat and get some other plants and make multiple container gardens for your porch and for your garden and all of that. So you kind of have to just, get them and mix and match to save yourself some money. If you don't, have the time. If you do have the time, that is, to go in and, do all of these little additions here and there. More part sun plants. Over here we have some coral bells, also called Heuchera. And these are perennials, so they come back year after year. And I think it's worth the price because even though you didn't have like multiple roots inside there, they're going to spread out over time, and these will be there for years to come. And they had a smaller leaf, darker variety right here. I'm guessing these most likely would have some, multiple roots in there. But again, you just use them and they produce beautiful flowers. And over here now we have some hostas. These are shade-loving plants. They can take part sun, yes, but their favorite place is to be in the shade. And this one is so gorgeous. It almost looks like an old world type plant to me. I think it is so beautiful. And then, as you see, there are many different types of them here. So I went in to try to get the name. I couldn't get the name at first. This one had a little bit of dust on there, as you can see. But eventually I got the name. This one is called So Sweet, and I think it really is sweet. So pair those with some ferns and it will just be so, so beautiful. You really don't need anything more with these plants. And if you're liking this video so far, be sure to give me a thumbs up. It helps to get this video out to other people that may have, similar interest in getting some of these plants. Over here we have Creeping Jenny. These are flats here again. So you can always get these and maybe share with a neighbor if you don't want to use all of them because they are very, very far-reaching, very, very versatile. because I planted some last spring and this is what they became. And guys, you want to guess how many I planted in there? I planted just 2, as you can see right here. And they spread out so well, you know, as the spring and summer went along to look like this. So I think it is so worth it to get some of those in your life. Over here now, for another part shade friend we have, this is coleus, and there are so many different types of them. And they're fairly easily propagated in water, so you can buy them, and they are annuals in most places. On occasion, they may come back if you cover them when the weather is cold, but either way, you can always get more plants from one plant by just propagating it in water. They propagate quite easily. You can see how gorgeous they are. And always, of course, you know, make sure that you're using opposite side of the color wheel whenever you're mix and matching your colors together for your flowers. Over here now we have some large containers if you want something that's already ready-made, and these are some beautiful hydrangeas. And I was kind of surprised that they paired them with the wandering Jew plant below, or called Tradescantia. Over here, these didn't have any of that in there, just the hydrangeas by themselves, and you can see how large and how beautiful they were. $49.98. This would be a great gift for Mother's Day, I think, and that's not too far off depending on when you're watching this. So note to self right there, guys. Very beautiful. If you're on a budget, these ones are even more beautiful to me, and they're in a different size container. They cost a little bit less, so I would say, you know, try for one of these. $34.98 if that's in your budget. So very beautiful. I absolutely love hydrangeas, but bear in mind that they like to have part sun. This one over here is bred a little bit more to take a little bit more sun, but either way, I would still say if you're going to get this one, put it in an area where it doesn't get sunlight all day. Like a south-facing area might not be the best place. Maybe like east or possibly west-facing. We have some calla lilies over here. These are sun lovers, and again, they're perennials. They have multiple roots in there, so you can always separate them out when you're going to plant them, or maybe in the following year. Over here, they had a lavender tree already shaped up for you. Very pretty, very stylish. I like it. And, you know, it has such a nice smell and it's so good. Over here now we have, this is an echeveria. These are succulents. So over here you can see how large it is. And it's actually in bloom. And bear in mind that every single leaf on this plant can propagate to give you a new plant. So it's $24.98, but it is definitely worth it. There's special care that succulents need, even though people figure that they're no fuss. They can be, but you have to put them in the right soil and the right size containers to get the best out of them. We have another one over here. This one is called Cha-Cha. I thought that was so cute. What a name. And then over here now we have, you know, you can see it has like little babies coming off at this side. You can always separate those out and you get multiple plants right away. So, you know, search and look and see what they have. This one over here, $74.98, so high priced, but you can see they have all different types of succulents in it. They have flapjacks, they have kalanchoe, they have snake plant, so many different ones in there. So worth it. And then over here, we're still on succulents. These are kalanchoe. You may see these sometimes like indoors. So if you're going to put them indoors, you can have them maybe on like, say, your workstation, maybe on, you know, like a patio outside. Just part sun areas is what they love, and they're very beautiful. I really love kalanchoe. It's gorgeous and not too much work with those. If you're in a full shade area, then this is the answer for you right here. These are impatiens, and these are probably going to be 5 times the size by the time you get to the late summer. They grow a lot, and they just need a little bit of plant food. If you put them in good soil, you don't even have to do that. They still will be fine for you. So I'd say get some of these if you have part shade. And over here we have these beautiful birdhouses. I absolutely love them. I feel like I'm in a Robin Hood, maybe like a Robin Hood movie, or Lord of the Rings, or, you know, The Hobbit, or people who like that kind of thing. You know, when you see them, this is kind of the feel that you get. But it's kind of more like for kind of like a woodlandy, more, you know, shady type of area, because of all the, you know, the moss that's there and the natural look that it has. So if you're looking for something like that for that kind of a space, then this would be perfect for you. And you can see the prices on there, how they're going, and that they have different types. Now over here, trellises are so important if you have climbing plants. These ones are very sturdy. I think that's a pretty decent price. And they had different, you know, type of support beams there. So we're heading out, but I did have to stop and talk a little bit about good old Dusty Miller. This plant is so versatile. It will last you from spring to summer to fall, and in some places, even in the winter, they will still be there for you. They make excellent container garden plants. They can be in your flower beds or on your edges as well. And of course, you want to make sure that you are going to pick up some soil. I personally don't need organic soil for my flowers, but for my veggies, I like to get them. And of course, you will have to pay a little bit more for the organic soil. And of course, your different price ranges here, as you can see, just depends on what you prefer to use for your garden. I did not see any mulch today, surprisingly. I'm not sure if they're going to be coming out, because that's something you want to put when you're planting your flowers. So I do hope that this was very helpful to you. I hope you enjoyed this trip as much as I do. I certainly hope to see you in the next video. Happy spring gardening and take care.